Coordination
Nomenclature of coordination.
compound.
Very good, my dear students. So yesterday we have studied about the various terms which were related to the coordination compounds. In those terms, we have studied about the various types of ligands. The most important terms were the ambident ligands, which can ligate through two different sites. We have studied about the coordination entities. We have studied about the coordination sphere, which is the three-dimensional arrangement of the metal with the ligands. At the same time, we have studied about the various types of complexes like homolactic and heterolactic coordination compounds, where the ligands are either of same time or of different type. We have studied about the basic differences between the double salt, which can ionize completely, and the coordination complexes which do not ionize completely, but they have the coordination entity which remains intact, and this is how we can study about them. We have studied about the other definitions like the coordination polyhedron, which is the three-dimensional arrangement again, and we have studied about the hexadentate, bidentate and tridentate ligands. Uh, like for EDTA is the example of the hexadentate ligand, which can ligate through three different or six different atoms. At the same time, we have ethylene diamine, which is bidentate, and we have TDDA, which is the tridentate ligand. So this is how we have studied. Now we are going to study about the nomenclature of coordination compounds. So let's move forward and study about the nomenclature of the coordination compound. My dear students, this is what it is going to be very interesting lecture for we people. So please study it well and try to enjoy the lecture. Generally, the way we give name to the compound, the same way the name are given to the coordination compound with very few changes. So let us see if we have NaCl. So the name for NaCl we generally give is sodium chloride. It is made up of two elements, sodium and chlorine. Now the name of sodium remains sodium, and the name for chlorine turns chloride. So generally we change the new suffix IDE is added to negative ion. Thus negative ion gets changed and positive ion generally remains the same. Name of the positive ion comes first and then the name of the negative ion comes. So those two examples, like whatever we have studied, are the fundamental rules for writing the names of any chemical. Now we are going to study some new rules. In the square bracket, the name of the ligands were written in alphabetical order. So when we have a coordinate complexes, we are going to write the name of the ligands into the alphabetical order. So those which are prior to alphabetical order, they are written, or their names are written first. Names of some ions as well as the neutral molecule are changed and written specifically. So here we can see that how the names are being changed. See, Cl minus terms chlorido, Br minus terms bromido, I minus terms iodido, NH3 is written as amine, H2O is written as aqua, NO2 minus is written as nitro N, ONO is written as nitrito O, SCN, see, NO2 minus is written as nitrito N, ONO is written as nitrito O. This is what it is, the ambident ligand. SCN is written as thiocyanato. CNS is written as isocyanato. So this is how they are also the ambident ligand. CNS is written as isocyanato. C2O4 minus 2 is written as oxalato. NO3 minus is written as nitrato. CO is written as carbonyl. NO is written as nitrosyl. OH minus is written as hydroxo. CO3 minus 2 is written as carbonato. PPS3 is written as triphenyl phosphine. PY is written as pyridine. EN is written as ethylene diamine. or it can be written as ethane 1,2-diamine. See, ethylene diamine is generally not the IUPAC name, and that is why instead of EN, we would prefer to write ethane 1,2-diamine. So, more preferable is ethane 1,2-diamine, but sometimes you will find also written ethylene diamine because the abbreviation is for ethylene diamine, but the better way to represent is ethane 1,2-diamine. EDTA is written as ethylene diamine tetraacetate. DETA is written as diethylene triamine. So these are the full form also. To represent more than one ions or molecules, we write prefixes as, see, if we have 6 Cm minus, then we can write them as hexacyano. If we have 4 NH3, then we will write tetraamine. If we have 2Cl, then we will write dichlorido. If we have C2O4 thrice, then we will write trioxalato. So my dear students, the prefixes like di, tri, tetra, penta, hexa has been added based on the number of ligands that are present. But if the word di, tri, etc. present in the name of the ligand, then we write bis for 2, tris for 3, tetrakis for 4. So if it is En3, then we will write tris ethylene diamine or tris ethane 1,2-diamine. This tris ethane 1,2-diamine is more favored. Same way for PPS3 we will write bis triphenylphosphine. So we write mono for 1, di for 2, tri for 3, tetra for 4, penta for 5 and hexa for 6. Remember my dear student that for if the name has already di, tri, tetra, then we will use bis for 2, tris for 3 and tetrakis for 4. Now we have a very important point to study about, we still have to see few points. When coordinate entity is positive ion, there is no change in the name of the metal. But when coordinate entity is negative ion, the name of the metal is being changed. When coordinate entity is negative ion, the name of metal added the suffix ATE. So name for the metal will be having the added suffix ATE. We will see them. Very important. Name of the metal is derived from the name of the metal in other language other than the English. So that the name of is added suffix AT. For example, if we have silver, then we will not write silverate, but we will write it as a argentate. If we have copper, we will write cuprate. If we have iron, we will write ferrate. So this is how, on the basis of the element present, we just write the names. To write the name of the coordinate compound, it is necessary that we know the oxidation state of metal. So we should calculate it, and the oxidation state is always written with the metal at the end of the name of metal in Roman numbers, and it is written into the parenthesis. So my dear students, we should know the oxidation number and then we can write it. See, I have given you the example. If the coordination entity is positive ion, in that case we can write Zn plus 2 is equal to Zn2. Cr plus 3 is equal to Cr3. You can see that in the parenthesis, the oxidation state is being written in the Roman numbers. So iron 3, cobalt 2, platinum 2, copper 2. This is how the oxidation number is written at the end of the name of the metal. If coordination entity is negative ion, then we will have to change the name. So for Zn plus 2, we will write zincate 2. For Cr plus 3, we will write chromate 3. For Fe plus 3, we will write ferrate 3. For Co plus 2, we will write cobaltate 2. For Pt plus 2, we will write platinate 2. For Cu plus 2, we will write cuprate 2. Now we should study about the counter ion. Counter ion is written in the same way as we write their name in the normal inorganic compounds. So counter ions are written in the similar way. For Cl minus, we shall write chloride. For SO4 minus 2, we shall write sulfate. For NO3 minus, we shall write nitrate. So this is how we study about them. Note, when both positive and negative, both ions are coordinate entity, the oxidation state of central metal atom or central metal ion is accepted as its most stable oxidation state. For example, here the AgNH3 twice is a positive ion and AgCN2 is a negative ion. Here oxidation state of silver, that is Ag, is considered as Ag plus, that is plus one oxidation state or one oxidation state. If there is charge on the CO, that is, if there is charge on the coordination entity, put word ion at the end of the name. This is what it is the rule that we generally follow. In book, they do not follow the rule, but it is better if we write the word ion at the end of the name that we write for a particular coordination entity if that particular coordination entity has a charge. Now we shall study how to write the oxidation number of the metal in the metals in the following coordination entity. So now we are going to study how to calculate the oxidation number. For the coordination compound CO, H2O, Cn, En outside bracket plus 2, we should write for all the ligands which are present. So we have written CO plus H2O plus Cn plus 2En and then the overall charge plus 2. We know that H2O does not have any charge, so we put charge 0. Cn is minus 1. En does not have any charge, so we put 0 there. So ultimately we get x plus 0 plus minus 1 plus 2 into 0 is equal to plus 2. Therefore x minus 1 is equal to plus 2. As x minus 1 is equal to plus 2, x is equal to plus 2 plus 1, that is x is equal to plus 3. Here x is represented, or the oxidation state of central metal atom is represented with the help of the x. So oxidation number of metal cobalt is plus 3. Same way we can go for PtCl4 minus 2, Pt plus 4Cl minus, that gives us the x minus 4 is equal to minus 2 and therefore x is equal to plus 2. So oxidation number of platinum there is equal to plus 2. Now we can move to the other. CrNH3Cl3, there is no charge, so is equal to 0. Cr plus 3NH3 plus 3Cl, NH3 is having 0 charge and that is why 3Cl will give us minus 3 charge. So x minus 3 is equal to 0 and therefore x is equal to plus 3. Therefore oxidation number of chromium is plus 3, my dear students. The same way we can calculate it for CrBr2 En2 where En is 0 and Br is minus 1. So oxidation state of cobalt, as it has plus 1 charge, so oxidation state of cobalt is plus 3. Same way in case of K3 FeCN6, you should first ionize them. So K3 FeCN6 will give us 3K plus and FeCN6 minus 3. Now for FeCN6 minus 3, we can calculate for Fe and Cn are minus 1. So Fe plus minus 6 is equal to minus 3 and therefore Fe is equal to plus 3. So oxidation state or oxidation number of Fe is plus 3. Now this is a specific case, NiCO4. So Ni plus 4CO. CO does not possess any charge and that is why Ni plus 0 is equal to 0 and therefore x is equal to 0 and therefore the oxidation state of nickel in NiCO4 is 0. So this is how, my dear students, we can understand the method of the calculating the oxidation state. Now we should move and try to understand the right for the coordination compound to write the formula for the coordination compound. So the first one is here and as an example for you, my dear student, tetraamine aqua chlorido cobalt 3 chloride. So first of all, tetraamine means NH3,4. Here cobalt 3 is there. So coordination entity has maximum 6 coordination number. So 4 NH3, 1 H2O and 1 Cl. So 1 Cl inside, 2 Cl. Matlab Cl, 2 Cl is outside. To make CO plus 3 satisfy CO plus 3, and we write it as CO NH3,4 H2O Cl. As it is clearly written in the name that tetraamine, so we write NH3,4. There is nothing in front of aqua, so aqua is 1, and there is nothing in front of chlorine, so chlorine is also 1, and chloride we have written 2 because the cobalt plus 3 is there, and only Cl is minus 1, so only one oxidation state is satisfied. So 2 oxidation states are not satisfied, and that is why we have written Cl2 outside. Now we are going to study the next example, potassium tetrahydroxozincate 2. So you can here understand that potassium is written, which is the K. So it is not inside the coordination entity. Tetrahydroxo means OH4. Zincate 2 means Zn plus 2 and Zn. So we can at least write Zn OH4. Zn is plus 2, and that is why total plus 2 minus 4 is minus 2. To balance this minus 2, we need plus 2. So we need 2K plus or K2, and that is why we have written K2ZnOH4. So same way, my dear students, you can write the various names. See, if I will explain all of them, it will take much time. But I would suggest you to go through all these names and try to understand how can we write the names. And if you have any doubt, you can ask me tomorrow. Now we are writing the name from the given formula. So look at this one example. I have given you PtNH3Cl NO2. Now we are going to study the mind process, like what should we think? So first we should think NH3 twice. The name for that is diamine. NH3 is amine, NO2 is nitrito N, and Cl is chlorido. Now if we write them in the alphabetical order, A come first, C then, and then N. So this is how we can write. Name written in alphabetically. Then we have to calculate the oxidation state. So while writing the name for a coordination entity, first we have to go for the writing or calculation of the oxidation state. So we can write the calculation Pt plus 2NH3 plus Cl plus NO2 plus O. That is what it is going to 0 because there is no charge on this coordination entity. NH3 will always have a 0 oxidation state. NO2 is minus 1, Cl is minus 1. So X plus 2 into 0 plus minus 1, that is X minus 2 is equal to 0. And therefore X is equal to 2. So we write platinum 2. Because the coordination entity is not a negative ion, we write platinum 2. Now we will write all the ligand into the alphabetical order. So we will start with amine. It is diamine, chlorido, nitrito, and platinum 2. So before you write the name of any coordination entity, this all process must go inside your mind. Let us look at one more example. K3Cr-C2O4 thrice. So you can see that potassium trioxylatochromate 3. This is the name I have written for it. But for that I have to do some of the mind exercise. So first I'll turn this K3Cr-C2O3 into 3K plus and the coordination entity with minus 3 charge. For this minus 3 charge, first we calculate the oxidation number of chromium. So X plus 3 into C2O4 is equal to minus 3. Therefore X minus 6 is equal to minus 3, and therefore X is equal to plus 3. So it is as this coordination entity is a negative ion, we should write chromate 3, and then we have to write the names of the ligand. Ligand is oxalate, which turns into oxalato. So chromium found to chromate because coordination entity is negative ion, and oxalato is written for oxalate. Here we have 3 oxalates, so we will write trioxalato, and as we should write the positive ion first, So now we can write potassium trioxalato chromate 3. So this is how, my dear students, we can write the examples, or we can write the names. You can see here that I have given you the practice of 21 uh, formula from the names. At the same time, you can see that I have given you the practice for more number of, you can see I have solved some 27 compounds with their names and their like their formula and their name. Let us look at these two typical cases, which is very indifferent for we people. Suppose we have both the ions are coordination entity. So we should start with the first, which is the positive ion. For positive ion, we will write about the ligands. So here the ligand is amine, and there are two amines. So we will write diamine. As this silver is in the positive ion, so we will write silver, and the stable oxidation state for silver is +1. So we will write diamine silver 1. Now this is the negative ion. Here we have 2Cn minus. So we should write dicyanato. And as this silver is present into the negative ion, we will have to write argentate, and that is the oxidation state is taken 1. The same thing happens in this case, my dear students, that we'll write, we have CrNH36 and COCN6. So CO is in the negative ion, so it has to be cobaltate. Both Cr and CO have +3 oxidation state as their stable oxidation state. So it is like hexaamine chromium 3 hexacyanato cobaltate 3. So this is how, my dear students, you can write the names, and they are very easy. But still, if you will have any doubt, I will solve tomorrow. You can ask me tomorrow in the class. Now we are going to study about the bonding in coordination compounds. So from the name coordinate compounds, we should know that these coordinate compounds have coordinate or coordinate covalent bond. It is a kind of bond in which the ligand give both the electrons needed for making the bond. Thus, ligands put or donate electron pair in the vacant d orbitals of the metal or central metal ion or central metal atom. Thus, the bond forms are formed by using the secondary valency of metal ion, and bond formed is non-ionizable. And that is why, as the secondary valency is used, which is not ionizable, the non-ionizable bond is formed between the metal and the ligand. We have already studied the VP theory in the 11th standard, but still let us revise it for the coordination compound. Valence bond theory. According to this theory, under the influence of the ligand, n-1 d orbital, ns orbital and np orbital, or ns orbital, np orbital and nd orbital collectively undergo the hybridization and produce a set of equivalent orbitals of definite geometry, such as this geometry may be octahedral, tetrahedral, square, planar, trigonal, bipyramidal, etc. These hybrid orbitals are allowed to overlap. These hybrid orbitals are allowed to overlap with the orbitals of the ligand, where the ligand donate their electron pair. So when the ligand donate their electron pair and make the coordination covalent bond, here you can see that the number of coordination covalent bond, the type of hybridization, and then the distribution of hybrid orbital in space as given by given. So you can see if the coordination number is 4, the hybridization possible are either sp3 and dsp2. If the hybridization is sp3, we can have the tetrahedral shape, and if the hybridization is dsp2, we will have the square planar shape. If the coordination number is 5, the hybridization is going to be sp3d, and it will always have trigonal bipyramidal shape. If the coordination number is 6, the type of hybridization possible are sp3d2 and d2sp3, and in both these cases of sp3d2 and d2sp3, we will have the octahedral geometry. Now, my dear students, there are some limitations of this valence bond theory for the coordination compounds. So we are going to study the various limitations of the valence bond theory. The valence bond theory involves the number of assumptions. That is the first limitation. It does not give quantitative interpretation of magnetic data. Valence bond theory does not say anything about the magnetic data. Then it does not explain the color exhibited by the coordination compound. It does not say why coordination compounds show colors. It does not give quantitative interpretation of the thermodynamic and kinetic stability of the compound. It does not say anything about the stability of the coordination compound. It does not give exact prediction regarding the tetrahedral and square planar structure of four-ordinate complexes. It does not tell when the tetrahedral or when the square planar complexes are formed, and it does not distinguish between the strong and weak ligands. So VB theory is having the limited application. Now we are going to study about the magnetic properties. Magnetic properties, even my dear students, we have already studied. As we have studied that earlier, that coordination compound has unpaired electron, then they are going to be paramagnetic. But if the coordination compound have uh, all the electrons paired, they are going to be diamagnetic. For paramagnetic we can calculate the spin-Orgling magnetic momentum, which is written as mu b, and the formula to calculate mu b is equal to square root of n into n plus 2 Bohr magneton. And this for we have, or if you can remember this value, it's wonderful that if the number of unpaired electron is 1, the mu b will have the value in Bohr magneton 1.73, for 2 unpaired electron 2.84, for 3 unpaired electron 3.87, for 4 unpaired electron 4.90, and for 5